Okay, so here we are once again talking about Katy Perry. Now, I wasn't even going to go, back into this. I was going to do the original video I did and leave it alone. As a matter of fact, it's in the card above. Click and check out that video, so you can catch up on what's going on. But I'll summarize it really quick here. Katy Perry allegedly sexually assaulted Josh Kloss. Again, I covered that in my past video, and it's doing, well. It's getting a lot of traction and getting a lot of views. And with that came the backlash. Katy Perry's fans obviously don't like the fact that a video was made about accusations against her sexually assaulting someone. This I expected. I wholeheartedly expected her fans to defend their idol, and it wasn't a surprise. However, as this has been going on, I've been noticing they've been saying things that have been hypocritical to the nth degree. So it'd be one thing if you say, I don't believe it, Katy Perry would never do it, right? Versus making up bullshit excuses to give her passes. And I'll give you some examples. So one of the things Katy Perry's fans have been saying is she doesn't even like him. She didn't even want to kiss him. She was grossed out by the thought of kissing him. I was aware of that, and I covered that in my other video. He's obsessed with her. He's always been obsessed with her. For years, he's liked her, and he can't have her, so he's mad. And it's just mind-boggling to me that if you were to flip the script on every single thing they were saying, you'd be crucified. For example, they're saying Josh Kloss has come out years later about this. And why would you come out years later? Why would you just now be bothered about it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this happens to women all the time. They get sexually assaulted or worse and come out years later like, you know what? This shit happened to me and it wasn't cool. This is the norm. So to be surprised or to say, well, why is he coming out years later? Because it's what happens, right? They're also under the assumption that Katy Perry has to be sexually interested in Josh Kloss to have sexually assaulted him. So she could have zero interest. She doesn't want to screw him. She doesn't want to kiss him. She doesn't want to date him. She doesn't want to be with him. That does not mean she couldn't have pantsed the guy in front of other men, actually. She could have easily been trying to have embarrassed Josh Kloss. It has nothing to do with her being sexually interested in Josh Kloss. Let's play scenario A. Let's flip the script. Let's say Susan is a new intern at some place and she's attracted to her boss. Her boss is not attracted to Susan for whatever reasons. She's not his type. So Susan even flirts. She puts it out there. She winks. She might even go out of her way to bring him some coffee into work and not anybody else, and smiley faces and you name it. I don't know how you kids flirt nowadays. Okay. So let's say Susan does this for, I don't know, a year. Hell, maybe 2. Let's say Susan does this for a while. And then Susan happens to be at the Christmas party. She's at the company Christmas party. And let's say her boss that Susan's interested in comes up behind her, after having, a couple drinks, or even not. Who cares if you're drunk or not? And from behind lifts her shirt up exposing her breasts in front of other people. Hardy har har. He thinks it's funny. I'm just kidding. I'm just joshing. No, come on. It was funny. It was funny. That's still sexual assault. He didn't have to be interested in Susan to sexually assault her. Katy Perry doesn't have to be interested in Josh Kloss to sexually assault him. She could have done it in jest. Okay? And victims of sexual assault, just look at the Me Too movement, come out years later all the time. It is normal. It is the norm. So to ask, well, why is it coming out later? Well, she doesn't even like him. Well, he had a crush on her. You're making excuses. Now, I'm going to reiterate this. I'm not saying that she's guilty. I'm saying it's a possibility and it needs to be taken serious. That's all I was saying. He makes this claim, take it serious, look into it. You taking screenshots of his Instagram posts where he was interested in Katy Perry does not by default mean that she didn't pants him. That's not evidence. So when you guys are on Twitter and you're atting me and you're showing me screenshots of him calling her boss lady, of him being interested and stuff like that, that's all great. That does not mean she didn't pants him. That's not what that means. That is not evidence. Okay? You also said, oh, he wants money, or if he wants to have her and no one else can. Again, those are your theories, and it's great to have theories, but that does not by default mean Katy Perry didn't sexually assault Josh Kloss. And when you change the genders and you put the shoe on the other foot, if I were to say the things you're saying about Katy Perry, if it was reversed, let's say, she was the sexual assault victim, you try to crucify me. How can you say that? How can you victim blame? How can you victim shame? You should always assume the victim's right first. I hear this all the time, and I'm not saying that that's necessarily wrong. That's a separate conversation that we can have. But what I am saying is Katy Perry isn't off the hook. And you also need to understand, I enjoy her music. I think she makes great music. All right? She has talent. But that does not mean I'm going to immediately assume that she didn't do that shit. And I'm also not saying that she is interested in Josh Kloss. She could have been doing it in jest. He said himself, she exposed his shit in front of other men. Now, I would assume that was done in jest. I would assume it had nothing to do with her being interested in him. I feel like she was coming at his neck. I feel like she was almost making fun of him in sorts. She was clowning him. If she was sexually interested in him, I don't, unless she's like, hey, look, this is my dick. See, it's all me. This is what's going to screw me. Unless she's saying that, I assumed it was in jest and had nothing to do with her being sexually interested in him. So that's what I have to say about that. You guys, salute to everyone that's supported me and that's had my back on the situation in this scenario. Again, I'm not saying she's guilty. I'm saying it's a possibility. She did what she did and it should be taken serious regardless of Instagram clippings of him being interested in Katy Perry. That bears nothing on whether she pants the guy or not. Okay? So thank you for everybody that's had my back in this scenario. And, for the people that are coming at me, the Katy Knights, that's what I'm calling you guys, the Katy Knights. Stop, breathe, and just think about that it could be possible. Think about the possibilities. I understand you like her. I understand a lot of you idolize her. That's on you. That's fine. But that does not mean she's innocent. That is all I'm saying. All right. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't, let me know in the comments why. I'm always down to talk about it. Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Peace.